Hey everyone, RidethePiggy here. We are playing Dark Souls. Asked a couple of my buddies on the digitalbarbecue.net to, oh, hey, careful there, puppy. Some suggestions on videos of what to do for Dark Souls. A lot of these guys are just getting into it, or have played and kind of gave up on it, or whatever the reason may be. We're going to get them back into it. So I'm actually going to start a new game, brand new character. I have to come up with some cool name. I don't know. Awesome man. Let's see. So there's all your classes. Deprived is fun. It's your highest level class, but you kind of suck. Being all around in this game is not a good method to go. You definitely want to focus on what you're doing, such as a thief with a high dexterity class or a high strength class like a warrior. I'm actually going to go with the knight. I haven't played as a knight yet. I believe they start with the highest poise. Biggest tip here I'd say is always take the master key. It's very helpful in the beginning levels, especially if you know where to go. Cut out a lot of parts of the game just by taking shortcuts using that. Or, you know, if you're ballsy, you can take the pendant, you know, get some fond memories there. I don't believe this does anything, so just have fun with it. Let's give him some hair. Let's see. Be a wild man. Some light brown hair. And the biggest thing I've learned recently, and I didn't even know about this, you can customize the face. If you just press random enough or screw around with things here, you get some really crazy looking faces. A very masculine and strong man. There you go. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff. It actually has a lot of depth, and I did not realize that. Yeah, so there you go. Good enough. So there we go. We'll get started with this character. I'm going to skip the intro video. You guys probably should have watched that already. It's a lot of good stuff in there. The story, there's a lot of depth to it. Very sneaky how they do it. That's great. Get rid of that backlight. And it's very dark. So let's adjust that. Put it in game mode so we can see everything. So everyone kind of knows the basic controls, I hope. Hold B down to run. Fun fact, you can dual wield this really crappy broken swords that you start with. There's a little bit extra damage, kind of makes it easier to get through here. Man, this guy is slow. I'm used to playing dexterity classes. I like the dex build. I like being quick, agile. And that's an ugly roll. So we're going to get started. I'm trying to focus on doing some boss fights and helpful tips and things that are most important in the game. Obviously, when you hit a bonfire, make sure you always light the bonfire first, obviously, and then visit it and sit down at it. Sometimes you can screw up and you just light it and run past it, and then you find out the hard way that you didn't sit down. Alright, so your first boss is sitting up there. Back up a little bit, you can actually see him. That's the Asylum demon. That big hammer of his. Now, you can fight him if you want. Do a minimal amount of damage, but definitely someone you can take down if you have the patience. Otherwise, leave. It's been a while since I've done the beginning of the game. There's an extra sword there, kind of help you out. So that's pretty much my starting gear here. I got the tower kite shield and the full knight armor and a broadsword. It's not a bad setup. I'm going to hit up this Indiana Jones section here. Be careful because it rolls off to the left there, so standing next to the stairs will get you hit. And there's our buddy. There's an Estus flask and a ring from him. Our key. And if you feel like you can kill him, he's got like no life for now. But he's worth 100 souls. Don't forget to open the door down here so that you have easy access for later. It's always very important in this game is to check every alcove and check all the little small areas. This is a helpful area later when you come back. But I've done many playthroughs where I've just gone around and swung at walls looking for those hidden walls. I'll try to point some of those out in some of my later videos. There's a ton of them throughout the game. Probably about 15 total. Alright, so we're going to be coming up on our first boss here in a second. Backstabs do give you a slight bit more of souls, so if you have the opportunity to backstab, it's always good to practice that. Same thing with parries. Definitely a big tip is to learn how to parry. Also don't learn by my example, as you can see there. So like I said, backstabs also helpful. Not only does it make it easier to kill, you're invincible during the time, and you get more souls. And it sounds like our buddy down there knows I'm up here. So here's the first fight. The biggest thing you want to do is make sure you get this down attack. And that's just hitting the light attack button as you're falling. That obviously gives you a ton of damage there. And if you have a strong enough character, you can run in two-handed. Hack away at him. That'll take a lot of life very quickly. One of the biggest tips is a lot of people like to play locked on like this, which is good. Try to learn how to fight without being locked on. It helps a lot, especially in PvP. One thing you do have to watch out is getting backstabbed, but it's pretty laggy online. You're going to run into issues anyways. I just picked up my first humanity, so I like to be human as much as possible. So we'll do that as soon as we hit Firelink here. So there you go. That's the big pilgrim. The first Asylum demon. You can hear his buddy walking around down there. Don't forget to pick up souls here. Every time you visit this area, there will be souls here. So, there you go. Whopping 200 souls. Helpful in the beginning of the game, but pretty useless otherwise. Over here, we have Snuggly the Crow.
You, give me warm. Give me soft.
So what Snuggly wants is something warm or something soft. So keep an eye out on all the items you have throughout the game. You can come back and trade there. What you do is you drop the item, quit and save your game, and then come back in, and he will have a new item for you. Easiest example is the piece of rubbish that you find in the Undead Burg. It's probably the easiest thing you can give up because it has no worth otherwise. So here we are. We've made it to Firelink. You can level up. I've the ability to level 3 times. In my next video, we'll talk a little bit about what to focus on, what type of character builds are good, and how the stats change as you level up. Thanks, guys.